Hi, this is Sally again, and I just finished 2 journals. I just got through talking about this one, the memory room, and now I'm going to do the second one, which is Castle Craneycrow. Another beautiful old book cover. This journal has 3 signatures, and I made a little tassel for it. It's attached right there, and then just a elastic closure that slips off. I might attach it here maybe later on, but I'll just have it like that for now. I use the hidden binding technique again, and this time it's bound right onto a piece of craft text. You can see it, there it is right there. And inside I have this beautiful upholstery fabric, and then I just kind of added this little bit of lace, crocheted lace there on both sides, and I think it makes a nice little edge to the book. Plus, now you can't tell that some of my pages are sticking out a little bit. So I put a pocket here, it's stitched, and inside is a really nice little postcard I got from Dee. Really goes with the green. This one decided to go with more greens in this one, and the other one had a lot of blue in it. So anyway, I'm just gonna move this so it sticks out just a little bit. Okay, so some more of that handmade paper from Nepal. So soft, pretty, and here's a little tag I made. This is a collage tag and has some stitching and one of those Tim Holtz pictures on it. Some wrapping paper. And this tag here, I love the looks of this lady here. She looks like she's had a rough day. And I just want to mention that I was inspired to try something new after watching Tanya of Scribbles in Time. That's her YouTube channel if you want to check it out, Scribbles in Time. I saw her glue a person on like just in parts of it and then leave this part open so she could tuck things in, and I thought I liked that idea, so that's what I did here. Turned this into like a little spot to tuck these tickets. Some paper from my flow book and an envelope. We have this is a tag made by a friend of mine at the farmer's market. This is a print of one of her paintings, and a little bridge tally book. Some stitching here. A little part of a children's book page. I love my new sewing machine. I can do these stitched edges, which I love the decorative stitches. And a page from a children's book with, I like the pictures on that one. Tea-stained parchment paper with stitching around the edges. And then here I had a piece of my jelly print paper and then just decided to stitch on some notepad paper to give a little extra writing space. So there's a couple pages there. And then on the other side, pages from a different notepad. And this is a page from that 1904 ledger. And here I just made a little tab with a T tag on it. So that opens up, and then inside here, a little ruffle made from some with some silk fabric that's holding down some extra pages here and here, and then underneath the ledger paper. So lots of writing space there. A little collaged pocket with a bird card inside. This is the Stellar J. I have a set of those. Stationery, and then a little belly band I made that's collaged, and this envelope, which is from 1928. It was kind of in bad shape, so I sort of rebuilt the flap with some tissue paper, reinforced it, and then inside is a page from a toll painting book. I think this might have had business cards in it at one time. Some sheet music, Marrakesh Express, Crosby, Stills and Nash, and here's a tag that's stitched with some acetate on the cover and a ruffle, a little bit of gold foiled paper, and tea stained paper, a couple of little mini clusters, mini collage clusters. Another little cluster. This one I turned into a tuck spot with just a couple of flags, pair of flags. Flip out for extra writing, and then behind it is a library card I got from Dee. Thanks, Dee. There's the rest of the stationery and some little butterflies that I stitched on here. They were all cut out with my little punch, butterfly punch. This time I made a corner tuck spot with one of those Tim Holtz photo booth pictures, and this has like a couple little snaps from a sewing kit and a bus ticket. I picked up some really neat old ephemera at a garage sale recently, and I got a whole stack of old papers. Jelly print paper, and another cluster that's a tuck spot with a picture. I like this picture here. I just found this in a thrift shop. It says on the back, "No, not Evangeline, just a tourist in Bermuda, February 1930. I mean, she could be a woman you might see today, so it's kind of a classic beauty. There's the rest of the children's book page. Another little tuck spot with a journaling card I got from Pam. Thanks, Pam. I stitched some tea-stained paper on the back, and then I just kind of thought it might be fun to have some little dangles hanging off of it. They're so colorful. I love that yarn. Writing space, cluster, some of that ribbon, that leaf ribbon, envelope, and this hat. Isn't that beautiful? This was part of a greeting card. I don't know if you can see there. So it opens up like this. A little bit of yellowed tape there. Little birds holding an envelope. Isn't that just gorgeous? So I thought if I'm going to use it, I should put it in a special place. So it's in this envelope. So I've been saving that for a while. Die cut. There's the rest of the flow book page. And a pocket with a postcard. I believe I got this one from Dee. Personal postcard. There's a little message from a daughter who's probably away at college, home to her parents. And then a little receipt for a Greyhound bus ticket. Maybe she was going to go home and visit. So, an envelope. And inside, this little playing card. Thought it was cute, and you can see that it's a card. Then I kind of just put a little bit of paper on there, and then this little feather which seemed to go with the chick. It's actually from my granddaughter's little feather boa she was using when she did her contemporary dance recital, so I thought I'd save it. Well, that's only part of the feather. There's more. And I love this paper clip. If I can get it on. And here's the second signature. This is a page from a butterfly book. And here, I like this tie-dye paper, and I thought I would use my Tim Holtz stencil to kind of get the same effect on this side. And I like the way that came out. You can kind of see the little splatters of ink there. And then after I did this side, I sprayed it. Then I flipped it and did, let me see if I could, well, I'll show it to you when I get to you. So I just took the stencil and I flipped it over so that the ink on the front pressed on the other side of the page. Kind of came out cool. I liked it. So here's some of that colorful paper. Pressed flower under some wax paper. Map page. And here we have a vellum pocket with a postcard. It's sort of a postcard. It's thinner. So I got a bunch of papers from a fellow that used to be a ham radio operator, and he got postcards from all over the world from people he had talked to. So this one is actually from Russia, the USSR. It's from 1965. Visit the USSR, which is no longer there. And I thought this went well with the page, which is about communications. Well, it's from the Coast Guard manual. And here are the Coast Guard people talking on their radios. And then one of those 7 Gypsies rub-ons. Little kid with his toy airplane. Cute. So this tag has a picture from The Wizard of Oz. It's the Tin Man helping the Scarecrow over the fence. And this little flower I made out of tea bags and stitched it with a piece of doily. And then this is one of those covered paper clips. So it has paper on all sides. Let's see, Dee sent me the link to this. I think it was Treasure Books that does a tutorial on how to make these. It's very, very simple. And it's great because they don't get hung up on anything. So, and you could actually enjoy both sides. This is some old wallpaper. I took a pressed fuchsia that I've had for years. I store them in an old phone book. And then I just sewed it into this piece of acetate, both sides, so it's kind of like a little flap. You can lift it up. Paper doily, vellum paper, and a little cluster on some tea-stained paper, another cluster, and one here also, and a couple of die cuts. Just a little piece of paper where I punched out flowers and then just sewed it. I glued that actually to some beet stained paper. Piece of that parchment paper that's tea stained, and then I stitched all the way around with zigzag. Really makes a nice page. You could see that I had some doilies layered in there. Left a design. Another tuck spot and a little journaling card. This is another one I got from Pam, my friend. Sent me this, and then I just did a stamping on the back and put some parchment paper on top, stitched it down. And this is stitched also, and normally I cut threads, but I kind of like the way those were sticking out, so I left them. die cuts. And this is a little fold down for some extra writing space with the collage on the front, paper doily, picture from a magazine, and then inside this little pocket here behind it is a piece of note paper, I should say. Just tucks in there. And on this side, paper doily with a picture. So this is, doesn't have a date, but those cards look like 1940s to me. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a bear right there coming up to this car, and people just standing out here taking pictures and looking at it. I wouldn't be doing that. Little collage cluster, ledger paper. So I made this little tab with some Tim Holtz paper and actually a piece of old cellophane tape that's all yellowed. So it's kind of interesting because on the Tim Holtz paper you can see they've printed yellowed tape on theirs, and this is actually a real piece of yellow tape. Handmade paper, tie-dye paper. There's the other side of that stencil. So after I sprayed it, then I flipped it over onto this side, and so I liked how that looked. It's kind of messy, but yet kind of interesting. This is a piece of that yearbook paper, yearbook page, and it actually has some people have written on it. Butterfly book, last signature. You can see where I attached the tassel here. I use these little bead caps. So it has a thread that goes from there to there, and that's where the beads are strung, and then the tassel's attached here. Okay. So I think with some things that I had gotten from Dee was this little origami folded paper, which I kind of thought would be cute as a little vase, and I just stuffed some napkins, printed napkins inside there, and put that little butterfly on there. Tea stained paper, beat dyed paper, atlas paper with stenciling, and a pocket with a little cluster on it, and then this tag here, which is kind of it's busy on the front. It's got a lot of collage there back there, and stamps, and flowers. Another paper clip covered in paper, and this page just needed something interesting on this side, so I have this postcard someone gave me. It's kind of risque, but I thought it went well in here and I wanted to use it. A little tuck spot, and actually this, I think a piece of paper, where I had a piece of paper in here and it fell out, so that's just a piece of a Greyhound bus ticket, cigar label, and a label from some embroidery floss. And I just stitched it on there like that. 7 Gypsies rub-on. More from the pattern book, Pattern for Success. Pocket with this tag, very simple collage tag. One of Dee's collages that she sent me, which I just cut into a tag shape. Coffee filter with a gold doily. And here's some ledger paper with a fussy cut flower. Here's a couple of belly bands layered on top of each other. This is a piece of a doily that I stitched onto some paper. And in the front part, a playing card. Well, it's actually, yeah, it is a playing card. Westminster Abbey. And then a map of Great Britain on the back. Some Tim Holtz vellum, which I love. One piece of paper inside for writing. I really like how the vellum is stitched onto the parchment paper. And just because I thought maybe the center might be kind of weak, I actually took a strip of tea-stained fabric and sewed it right down the middle to give it a little extra strength. You can see it there. So ledger paper, this time I put a little hidden pocket here at the edge, so this actually opens up, and inside it has some writing paper, which I just stitched this on the sewing machine. It's pretty simple, and then attached it here and here. Coffee filter. Inside is a dried pressed flower. I just stitched around it. And here we have a pocket with some paper layered on it, and then my business card. Tag with some vellum, and I just cut a little slit in the vellum, and so I could tuck this bird card in there. So I like that, how it came out. Might try that again. So I had ordered that Edith Holden book, but it didn't come until just recently, and I'd already started pulling the papers for this book. So I didn't actually put any pages from it in here, but I did cut out a few things to glue on here. And so this is my little raggedy I made. Just a bunch of different papers collaged together and then stitched. These are photo corners and a couple of little game cards. This is from the yearbook, and this is from the atlas, and I kind of liked how these two pictures joined up right there. Made it kind of interesting. Beat dyed paper and a little extra writing space here with a check stub stitched on. And there's the back. So that's it. Castle Craneycrow. Thanks for watching.